Good afternoon. I'm John Otten. I'm the Kentucky RA Missions Consultant, and I'm glad you could join me for a Campcraft lesson today. Just a little bit ago, I was over listening to Zach give the RA lesson, and I appreciate him doing that. He's doing a great job. I hope you're tuning into those on Facebook. And as I was listening to his lesson and thinking about it in preparation, I thought of a little mission application that could go along with that lesson from Campcraft. So in the RA lesson today, Zach read the story Enough Love for Everyone on page 25 of the RA World. And in that story, some of the workers provided medical care and medical supplies to refugees in camps. And as I heard that and read about that, I was reminded of the Good Samaritan story in Luke chapter 10. The Good Samaritan stops and helps a man who had been beaten and robbed. The Bible says he poured oil on the man's wounds and wrapped the wounds with bandages. And we can only assume that the Samaritan had those supplies with him so that he was able to do what he did to help that man with some simple first aid. And we can be prepared to help others as well with some simple first aid needs by making a personal first aid kit that we carry with us, say in our packs or in our cars. And so that's what the RA lesson, Campcraft lesson is about today, is how do you put together a personal first aid kit. So I have one here that I've put together using the instructions in the Campcraft manual. Got it here in a sandwich size Ziploc bag, and I'm going to take the parts of it out and show you those things. Inside my little personal first aid kit, I have some bandages. Got some different sizes. Got a smaller size here, a couple of medium sized ones, and a larger size one. So you want to have some bandages. You also want to have a roll of gauze bandages, or possibly some squares, which is what I carry in mine. Got some squares of bandages. You can use these for larger cuts and scrapes. Another thing you can do with it, if somebody's got a cut or you've got a cut and you need to stop some bleeding, you can take one of these out of the package and then fold it up and press that right on the wound to help apply pressure and stop that bleeding. So some gauze pads there. You also want to have a roll of adhesive tape. Use this to hold the bandages down, the larger bandages. And this is the paper kind that I have here. You want to have some antiseptic wipes or alcohol wipes. I've got a couple of both here and here. And use those to clean the wound before you put the Band-Aid on or the bandage. You want to have some triple antibiotic cream. You can get these in little packages and put that on the cut or the scrape to help fight infection there. I carry some moleskin. That's also on the list. This is a pre-cut. You can see I've already used a couple of those, but you use this if you get a blister on your foot if you're hiking, and it's pre-cut into different shapes, and you can use those to pad that blister and cut down on the irritation on it. I also want to carry some pain reliever. I've got some right here in a little tiny Ziploc bag. This is Tylenol. Some people carry ibuprofen or aspirin. And then if you have any personal medication, you're always going to want to keep a couple of those with you in your personal first aid kit. Obviously, you're not going to give that to somebody else, but that's for you if you need it. And so I have some here. This is my blood pressure medicine, and so I keep a couple of those in my personal first aid kit. And those are the items that are listed in the Campcraft manual, but with the way things are today, times have changed a little bit. There's a few other things you might want to add to your first aid kit. Pretty important thing, I think, to put in there is a pair of rubber gloves. That way, if you are helping somebody else where blood is involved, you can put those on your hands and protect your hands from any bloodborne pathogens. Another thing that's available now that didn't used to be is hand sanitizing gel in little packets. And so you can buy a box of those and include a few of these in your first aid kit. Those would come in real handy as well. I like to keep a small packet of tissue with me and mine, particularly during allergy season if I'm going out walking. Need to blow my nose. Here's something interesting you might want to keep is a roll of duct tape. Small roll. I bought this in the camping section of a local store, and you can use that to repair things, patch a shoe, patch a pack strap, anything like that. So you might want to keep some of those with you. If you're hiking, you might want to carry a whistle with you. Get lost, this enables you to call for help. And then just a couple of interesting things. I learned this at Wild Camp. One is a rubber band. You never know when you might need that. And then another thing is a section of foil. I've got this folded up, but it's actually quite a bit larger. You could use this foil to make a cup to drink out of, or there might be any other number of ways. So, and it's flat and it's light, and you can just stick it in there with it. So you just take all these things and you just stack them up and put them into your Ziploc bag. I like to put the flat things in first, all in one area. And then I'll usually drop my medicine down in there, in the roll of tape. Put the extras that I have, the sanitizer and the roll of duct tape in there, the tissues, slide in the back side, the foil as well since it's nice and flat. Drop the whistle and rubber band in there, and then last thing I put in is the gloves, because that's probably the first thing you want to pull out. Just close it up, squeeze a little of the air out of it. Got yourself a nice little first aid kit. Carry with you wherever you go. With those simple things, you can be ready just like the Good Samaritan to tend to a very small, very simple first aid need for yourself or possibly for somebody else. Now, one thing we need to remember is that even if we carry a personal first aid kit like this, or maybe a larger first aid kit in our car, a store-bought type, a group camping kit when we're camping, if the first aid need is bigger than just a simple scrape, cut issue like that, you're going to want to call for professional medical help using 911, or an adult leader will need to take the person to the hospital, something like that, if there's something serious. The main thing with first aid is to treat the immediate need and help stabilize the condition, and then get the person to professional medical help. Something else you can do besides carrying a little first aid kit with you, you could sign up and take a first aid course from a local organization like Red Cross, and that would even better prepare you to be ready to help people in need. For the groups that award Campcraft badges, this project satisfies one of the requirements for first aid for Discover 3 level of Campcraft, and it also helps prepare a boy to build a group first aid kit, which is a requirement in the camper level of Campcraft. And all of these Campcraft things you can learn about in the Campcraft manual. Right here, Campcraft Outdoor Living Skills. That book was first produced by NAM, and then it has been edited by Texas Baptist men in Texas, and they have allowed me to post that as a PDF on our website. So if you would like to download that for free, you can right here, kywmu.org/campcraft. that personal first aid kit can be found on page 123 in chapter 7, which is the chapter about first aid. So thanks for joining me for this Campcraft lesson. And remember, just like our workers in the story today, just like the Good Samaritan in Luke chapter 7, we too can be prepared to help others with their needs, and preparing a simple first aid kit will help you to do that. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again.